Hey everybody, this is Jane from Barlow Herbal, and I'm back with Dr. Brandon Nielsen, and we are going to give you some amazing, actually wait, he is going to give you some amazing information about what we talked to you about last week. So I'm just going to let him go because we were sitting here talking as we were preparing this, and it was sounding really amazing, and we weren't recording, so here you go. We decided
So
just to turn it on
hopefully I
and
didn't
go.
forget my whole life, right?
No, you just have to repeat it.
No, that's fine. So last week we are talking kind of about my story, and if you didn't see that, go ahead, go back. And what I tried to explain is really when I got stuck in life, I finally came to a resolution that I had to change me. But it wasn't just me; it was my subconscious, because as we know, according to UCLA, that we have about 70,000 thoughts per day. But our body is so smart that it packages all those thoughts up into what we call feelings, emotions, right? Which she already knows that. I should be telling you. So feelings and emotions. And so for me, I had to change my subconscious. So again, the work by Candace Pert, PhD, Georgetown University, we know that emotions are stored throughout the body, and that is our subconscious. And so that is what runs our life. If we don't change the emotions, you don't get what you want. If you want, so I know a lot of you out there are DIY, do-it-yourselfers. That's why you're in natural medicine. I know that. I get it. It takes one to know one, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. And so what I do know is that a lot of you are kind of like, oh, I want to get to this next level. Maybe it's I want to have more patience, or I want to have the healthier body. But what we do know is that if you don't change your subconscious, you will never get what you want. You can't. And so from that, I started studying work, developing my own work on how to change emotions, how to change your subconscious. And we'll talk a little bit about that today. But the first thing I want to talk about in that is what I call the Triad of Change. So Jane, you can join with me. So just go ahead and make like a triangle. All right.
Okay.
So if you look at the triangle, and I'll have you hold it up. So here's the triangle. Okay. But the base of the triangle. Here we have a side and here we have the side. So rather than use the points, we'll use the triangle. And so at the bottom, Triad of Change, it's called AAA. And if you want to change, you have to do this. You've heard the phrase, you need to be well-rounded, or you need to be balanced. Like, what does well-rounded mean, right? I don't know, but I do know. I mean, I'm about to tell you, okay? Because I've thought about this a lot, because how can I help more people? Not just myself, because I changed. How can I help myself? So at the bottom here, and you can take it down so your circle or your doesn't get tired. So your triangle.
I'm not tired.
Right here, Triad of Change is accountability. So take notes or rewind this and watch this. Accountability. So you can take down accountability. So in accountability, if you want to change your subconscious, this is one of the ways, and then I'll tell you how to fast forward things. First thing is you need to be accountable to someone. So for you are actually accountable to your listeners. They expect you to continue to give them good content. I am accountable to my listeners and to my patients and to my clients. I'm accountable to them. I'm accountable to my wife. Interesting enough, there's been many research studies that shows if you do something, if you want to, like, say, lose weight, if you have a friend, you're accountable to that friend. Or there's the doctor accountability, where you're accountable to a doctor, or you're accountable to a coach. Or the teacher method would be you're accountable to a teacher. There you go. All right. So now you have that base. The fundamental Triad of Change is accountability. So go ahead and put your triangle up again. The next area of change, if you want to change, and not just change for a little bit, but permanently change, is what I call alimentation. Or if you look in Latin, right, I speak Italian, alimentare. It's to nurture and nourish, to nourish. Okay, so you can take your triad down. So if we're going to nourish, how do we nourish? Well, generally, for me, so when I was stuck, I couldn't get out, I had to nourish myself. I started studying like-minded individuals. I started studying people who, so I got a mentor. I got a mentor right at the accountability level. And then I started having and studying how people were able to change, people who got in a rut, who were stuck, how they were able to change. And then I started studying and becoming a master. And that's the thing, is you must become a master, a guru in at least one area. So maybe you're the best sock folder. You know how to fold socks better than anybody else in the world. Okay, but what I'm saying there is you've got to master something, become the best at that, then move on to that next mastery level. So for me, I didn't master blood labs at first. That's something that we do in our practice as well as blood labs. I didn't master that at first. What did I master first? Myself. That's what I wanted to master first so I can actually help other people. So again, studying or nourishing or nurturing yourself, and usually that's through studying or else having your mentor help you and give you, kind of spoon feed you. All right?
Yeah.
Hold up your triangle
Yeah.
again. Oh,
Okay.
she has something good. Yes?
No.
Oh,
No.
She's liking
No.
this. All right. So then
But I might.
the next angle over here is assignments. All right. So again, let's do the teacher model. Here's teacher.
Okay. Accountability.
Nourish or
Educate.
alimentare,
Right.
and then assignments or what we call homework, right?
Homework.
You remember when you were in school, you had homework. Why do we have homework? Because it helps us change. So after you start to change, so you have accountability, alimentation, look it up. I want you guys to look up that word in the dictionary. It's real. It's not like it's an English word. And then assignments. That will help you start to change. So then your mentor gives you assignments. The teacher gives you assignments. Your coach gives you assignments. If you want to change, trust me, the triad of change, you will change. So the greatest athletes in the world, they don't have coaches. Oh, wait, they have coaches. The greatest athletes in they have coaches, right?
They absolutely have coaches. I was going to say, what are you saying?
I was making sure she was paying attention. Of course they have coaches. The greatest in the world have coaches. So talk about the greatest business partners. Movie's about to come in with Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Steve Jobs, it's coming out next week or whatever. Steve Jobs, one of the greatest minds in the world. Did he have a partner? Yes, Steve Wozniak. And he had others. He didn't do it by himself. So what I'm saying here is accountability, alimentation, and then assignments.
Right.
That's the triad of change. Now, do you want to know the secret sauce?
Sure.
Okay. This is where you become well-rounded. This is where you can actually start to move, because I've never seen the pyramids move. I've never seen a triangle on a car, triangle wheels. We don't have, I haven't seen go and kick the soccer triangle, go and play basket square. We don't, it doesn't roll and it's not rounded. So now you take, as you take and you get a mentor, as you get and start to nourish yourself in your mind, as you create assignments for yourself or have your mentor, you start to become well-rounded and you become an individual who can move. So let me ask you this. Why do we want to become well-rounded? Just what are your thoughts? And I'll tell you an answer as well. But what are your thoughts?
Well, I was actually kind of thinking while you were going about part of that is, and I kind of want to take it back just a bit to the mentor part of the,
absolutely.
or the accountability, because I feel like a couple years ago I actually got a coach or a mentor, and I'm not as young as you are, and it took me a long time to realize how much I would benefit from having a mentor.
Right.
And I think that we are afraid to invest in ourselves. We're afraid to. We are.
Right.
We don't think it's worth it. We don't think.
Or it might not work.
Or we just think, well, we can do this on our own.
Oh,
or
yeah.
we think
DIY. I know you're out there.
Yeah. So I think it's good. Back to your question, being well-rounded. I mean, that just to me, it just makes sense. In fact, when you did this to the round, of course you can't. You have to be well-rounded. I don't really have any deep thoughts about that.
We know we do. We've always been taught that. And
Yeah.
even if you live in another country, you've been taught that.
Yeah.
And and I don't know if all your listeners are throughout the world, but we have some listeners and I can share this with them as well throughout the world. Being well-rounded. The reason why you want to be well-rounded is so you can affect more people. That's why.
Yeah, well, even the people in your own community, because what I found is when I share information, I have people that I share with that actually go out and they spread it too. So the thing is, if you become a well-rounded person, you become not just, well-rounded is almost such a broad term. Maybe let's tighten that in with what you're talking about. Let's get you healthy.
Right.
mentally and
Yeah, not
physically.
well-rounded.
Well, no, I didn't know you. I know you. I know you didn't mean that.
No, I know.
No, no,
I
no.
know.
But the thing is, if you become healthy and well, and you learn how to do some of these techniques, and you learn how to use herbal medicine, you learn how to do muscle
Right.
testing, and you learn how to take care of yourself, not just on a small level, but on a high level, then you can go out and affect your community. Because
That's exactly
what
right.
I find is that there is such a need for a big surge in change, in wellness, in health, that if you are able to get yourself to a high level, that you can actually affect the people in your community. And the world needs you. So that's one of my main missions is to, and that's why I've got this guy here, because we connected and I realized what he's doing. And this is what he's saying to you right now is just a teeny tiny taste of what he actually is going to give you and empower you with. And it's kind of hard to do it in just a few minutes. That's why we're going to give you little videos of time so that you're not overwhelmed with a whole bunch of time. But if you empower yourself with health, wellness, knowledge, a strong mental that can affect your physical, then you can go out and actually affect the people in your community, which is what the world needs to have change. The world needs anything right now, it needs change.
That's exactly right.
So that's kind of my 2 cents worth
No, that's
from
exactly
what I'm
right.
getting from you.
Yes. And being well-rounded allows you to move.
Yeah. So
being rounded allows your car to move, right? A
Yep.
wheel, if
Yep.
you got square wheels, you're
Yep.
not going to move.
right.
The power of it is, so we talk about motion.
Mm-hmm.
Being rounded, well-rounded means you can go and affect other people. Affect yourself first, go and affect
Right.
other people. If you've got that sense of roundedness,
Mm-hmm.
what that is creates motion.
Yep.
And when we talk about energy and motion, that's emotion.
Yeah. So I think this would be a good place to maybe end this one. So
Absolutely.
that we can keep you excited about what's coming next. So thanks for listening today, 12 minutes. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.